Here's how to pronounce the full name of every club in the 2024-25 UEFA Champions League. And also, let's dive into the etymology and share some history about where the names came from. If I butchered your team's name, I'm sorry. Please let me know how to say it in the comments or tag me in a video reply. Manchester City Football Club. Easy one to start off with. Most of the time, they're referred to as Man City or Manchester City. Originally, City were founded as St. Mark's, then Gorton Association FC, where we saw the Templar cross on their old kits before renaming themselves Ardwick Association Football Club. A founding member of Division 2 in 1892, the current name was implemented in 1894. Manchester City Football Club. Fußballclub Bayern München, eingetragener Verein. Usually, people say FC Bayern, Bayern Munich, or Bayern. Bayern is the English word for Bavaria, the German state where Munich is the capital, and München is the native form of Munich. In English, the full name means Football Club Bayern Munich Registered Association. It's a mouthful in German. Fußballclub Bayern München, eingetragener Verein. Real Madrid, Club de Football. Real Madrid, though some will just call them Real or Madrid. Real wasn't always in their name. The club was founded in 1902 as Madrid Football Club. Real means royal in Spanish, and it's a title that was bestowed by the Spanish monarchy, rather than the club itself. There are more than 20 clubs in the top 5 tiers of Spain's football pyramid that have Real in the name. Real was bestowed upon Madrid by King Alfonso XIII in 1920, but one stands above the rest. The most successful team in Champions League history with 15 titles. The most La Liga titles of any club. Nicknamed Los Blancos, their full name is Real Madrid Club de Football. Paris Saint-Germain Football Club. It's funny that PSG follows Real Madrid in this video, because former Real Madrid president and stadium namesake Santiago Bernabeu helped in the founding of Paris Saint-Germain. The club isn't all that old. Founded in the summer of 1970 by the merger of Paris FC and Stade Saint-Germain, with 20,000 fans crowdfunding the project, a suggestion that came from Bernabeu. Most people use the abbreviation PSG when referring to the French champions. Lately, the club has been referring to itself as simply Paris, and that's how it's listed on UEFA's website. Still looking for their first title after falling short in the 2019-20 final, the full name of the current French champions is Paris Saint-Germain Football Club. Liverpool Football Club. Liverpool, or Liverpool FC, is what you commonly hear people refer to this club as. From the city of Liverpool in the northwest of England, the name comes from the city that they call home. Believe it or not, the club was originally named Everton FC and Athletic Grounds Limited after a dispute between Everton president John Holding and the Everton committee about the club stadium. Everton used to play at Anfield, on land owned by Holding, and they moved to Goodison Park in 1892. Holding founded Liverpool to use his newly empty stadium. I'd say it worked out okay. The Reds have won Europe's elite club competition 6 times, the most of any English club. I think you'll have no problem remembering their full name, Liverpool Football Club. Football Club Internazionale Milano Società per Azioni. Some say Inter Milan, but technically they go by Internazionale or Inter. In 1908, a group of players at AC Milan split to form a new club that would accept foreign players into their ranks and not just Italians, an international club, or Internazionale in Italian. The Nerazzurri have won the European Cup 3 times, most recently in 2010. The club's full name is Football Club Internazionale Milano Società per Azioni. Ballspielverein Borussia 09, eingetragener Verein Dortmund. For short, you can just say BVB, Borussia Dortmund, or Dortmund. In English, that translates to Ball Club Borussia 09, Registered Association Dortmund. Borussia is the Latin word for Prussia. Dortmund is in Westfalen within Germany, which was formerly part of the Kingdom of Prussia back in the 19th century. But the name was taken from the Borussia brewery that had gone bankrupt 8 years before the club was founded. On the 19th of December 1909, about 50 young men from the Catholic Trinity congregation decided they needed a football club independent of the church. They had a meeting at Zum Waldschutz, a pub in Dortmund. They saw an old advertisement for Borussia, added on the name of the city, and Borussia Dortmund was born. They reached the final last season and have won the Champions League once before. And the way that you say their full name is Ballspielverein Borussia 09, eingetragener Verein Dortmund. Rasenballsport Leipzig, eingetragener Verein. Another lengthy German name. Most people just say Leipzig. Contrary to public opinion, that RB doesn't stand for Red Bull, but rather Rasenballsport, which basically means lawn ball. Eingetragener Verein means registered association or club. While they haven't been around for long, this is their 7th season in the UEFA Champions League. They might not say it on TV, and they definitely won't say the translated version of lawn ball Leipzig, but the club's full name is Rasenballsport Leipzig, eingetragener Verein. Football Club Barcelona. FC Barcelona, Barcelona, or just Barca is what most people say. No great secret here. Hans Gamper placed an ad in the local sports newspaper wanting to form a football club, and the response was positive. The club was formed with the name Foot-Ball Club Barcelona. In 1938, due to the war, the Catalan flag was banned, and the club were forced to change their name to Club de Futbol Barcelona. After Franco's dictatorship ended in 1974, the name reverted to Football Club Barcelona, and they restored the Catalan flag to the crest. A very successful club with 5 Champions League titles to their name, most recently in 2015. And while they're based in Catalonia, you don't pronounce this when using Barca's full name, Football Club Barcelona. Bayern 04 Leverkusen Fußballgesellschaft mit beschränkter Haftung. That's a mouthful. Bayern 04 or Leverkusen works as well. GmbH basically just means LLC in German. It's a way of distinguishing a company. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Bayer Leverkusen are a company team. Their nickname Werkself means Factory 11. Employees of Bayer founded the club in 1904, along with other sports like gymnastics, basketball, hockey, and more. Originally named Turn- und Spielverein Bayern 04 Leverkusen. Eventually, the football section would split away from the other clubs. Leverkusen reached the Champions League final in 2002, falling to a Zinedine Zidane wonder goal. I'll be impressed if you can say the full name. Bayern 04 Leverkusen Fußballgesellschaft mit beschränkter Haftung. Club Atletico de Madrid Sociedad Anónima Deportiva. Founded in 1903 by 3 Basque students living in Madrid, the club was originally named Athletic Club Sucursal de Madrid. Sucursal means branch in Spanish. These kids saw their club as a branch of Athletic Club Bilbao, who won the 1903 Copa del Rey final in Madrid. A wartime merger with Aviación Nacional changed the name to Athletic Aviación de Madrid, lasting for a few years until foreign names were banned, changing Athletic to Atletico. After the war, the military association was dropped, and that's how we landed with Club Atlético de Madrid. As for the corporate structure, Sociedad Anónima Deportiva is an anonymous sports society, translated literally. You can call them Atleti or Atletico. They like when you say Atlético de Madrid rather than just Atlético Madrid. Atleti reached a Champions League final twice, losing both times to city rivals Real Madrid. And once again, Club Atlético de Madrid Sociedad Anónima Deportiva is their full name. Atalanta Bergamasca Calcio Società per Azione. Just like the previous club, Atalanta were founded by students who established the club in the name of the fleet-footed heroine from Greek mythology, Atalanta. Originally, it was called Società Bergamasca di Ginnastica e Sport Atletici Atalanta. I probably butchered that, but it was quite a long name. A merger with another Bergamo-based club in 1920 brought a shorter name, Atalanta Bergamasca Calcio. Società per Azione is a corporation with stockholders, rather than an LLC though. You can say Atalanta or Atalanta BC for short. Atalanta won the 2023-24 Europa League, as well as finishing 4th in Serie A to punch their ticket to the Champions League. Atalanta Bergamasca Calcio Società per Azione is how you say their full name. Juventus Football Club Società per Azione. Another Italian club, another Società per Azione. First founded as Sport Club Juventus. Juventus is the Latin word for youth. Juve are a well-oiled machine, and the Bianconeri are 2-time champions of Europe, most recently in 1996. Returning to Europe this season after a ban, the full name of Serie A's record champions is pronounced like this: Juventus Football Club Società per Azione. Sport Lisboa e Benfica. In 1904, 24 people attended a meeting to form a social and football club that was named Sport Lisboa. 4 years later, they acquired Grupo Sport Benfica by mutual agreement, changing the name to Sport Lisboa e Benfica. That means Sport Lisbon and Benfica. More on another Lisbon team later, but it's interesting how the shortened name that people use these days is just Benfica. In terms of supporters, Benfica have the most fans of any club in Portugal. They won the European Cup 2 years in a row back in the early 60s, but haven't won another since. My Portuguese pronunciation is far from perfect, but here's my best attempt at the club's full name. Sport Lisboa e Benfica. The Arsenal Football Club. Pretty easy one here for native English speakers. The name was derived from their founding location at the Royal Arsenal complex. Originally named Dial Square Football Club, then Royal Arsenal, then Woolwich Arsenal, they changed their name in 1910 to the Arsenal Football Club. While the isn't always mentioned nowadays, it remains in the club's full name, the Arsenal Football Club. Club Brugge Koninklijke Voetbalvereniging. This might be my favorite name to say in these pronunciation videos. I try to pronounce their name using the traditional Flemish, but people use both French and Flemish in Belgium. Essentially, it translates to Club Brugge Royal Football Association. While the club was started in 1891, the Flemish name actually didn't arrive until 1972. Originally the Brugge Football Club, then Football Club Brugeois, and Royal Football Club Brugeois. It's an absolute mouthful, and the full name is Club Brugge Koninklijke Voetbalvereniging. Voetbalni Club Shakhtar Donetsk. The club's name comes from the German word Schach, meaning vertical mining shaft, and Shakhtar means someone who works in a mine in Ukrainian or Russian. You can see the inspiration in the club's badge. My pronunciation of Ukrainian is obviously a little imperfect, but here's my attempt at the club's full name. Futbolny Klub Shakhtar Donetsk. Associazione Calcio Milan Società Operazioni. Even though Milan is an Italian club, you'll notice that their name is not stylized as Milano like city rivals Inter. That's because it was founded by an Englishman as Milan Foot-Ball and Cricket Club. With 7 European Cups, Milan is the most successful Italian club in the history of the Champions League. You can simply call them Milan or AC Milan, but not just AC. That would be like calling Liverpool FC just FC. The club's full name is Associazione Calcio Milan Società Operazioni. Feyenoord Rotterdam. Quite a simple name, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's easy to say. Feyenoord was founded as Wilhelmina in 1908, changing to SC Feyenoord and then SC Feyenoord before eventually dropping the SC from its name in the late 1970s. They won the European Cup in 1970, but have been yet to reach the Champions League final since. A Dutch club with lots of history, the full name is Feyenoord Rotterdam. Sporting Clube de Portugal. Sport Club de Belas was formed in 1902 as a social and sport club. In 1906, at one of the club's picnics, there was a split between members who wanted to focus on social events and those who wanted to focus on sports. That's when one group of founders broke away to form Campo Grande Sporting Clube, which would eventually become Sporting Clube de Portugal. Known as Sporting within Portugal, sometimes referred to as Sporting CP or Sporting Lisbon outside of Portugal. Regulars in the group stage, they haven't gone further than the European Cup quarterfinals back in the 80s. Once again, their full name is Sporting Clube de Portugal. Philips Sportvereniging Naamloze Vennootschap. Based in Eindhoven, the city name is actually not part of the club's name. PSV stands for Philips Sportvereniging, which basically means Philips Sport Club, after the tech company based in the city. In English, people will pronounce it as PSV, but this is how you say the club's full name. Philips Sportvereniging Naamloze Vennootschap. Građanski Nogometni Klub Dinamo Zagreb. You've probably heard them called Dinamo Zagreb before, but maybe you haven't heard the full name, which just means Dinamo Zagreb Citizens Football Club. Roots of the club can be traced back to Prvi Hrvatski Građanski Sportski Klub. In English, that means the first Croatian citizen sports club that was established in 1911 and dissolved in 1945, as well as FD Dynamo, which was formed just 3 days after the former club had been disbanded by the communist authorities who took over. Croatia's most successful club domestically, Dinamo Zagreb haven't made it out of the group stage yet when it comes to the Champions League. Their full name is Građanski Nogometni Klub Dinamo Zagreb. Football Club Red Bull Salzburg. Salzburg has undergone a few name changes and a few ownership changes over the years. Founded as Sportverein Austria Salzburg when 2 of the city's clubs merged in 1933, the club's name changed to SV Casino Salzburg in 1978. Then it became SV Wüstenrot Salzburg in 1997. In 2005, the club was taken over by Red Bull, renamed, and the colors changed from purple to red in a complete rebranding. You might just call them Salzburg, but the club's full name is Fußball Club Red Bull Salzburg. Lille Olympique Sporting Club. The city of Lille had 2 top clubs prior to the Second World War, Olympique Leroy and SC Fives. Weakened by the war, the 2 clubs merged in 1944, which is how we got the present-day name. The easiest way to say the name is simply Lille. Other short names are LOSC, which is just the abbreviation, Lille OSC or LOSC Lille, LOSC Lille, which seems a little redundant to me. Lille's full name is Lille Olympique Sporting Club. Futbalski Klub Crvena Zvezda. The name literally translates to Red Star Football Club. However, you will hear English-speaking media refer to them as Red Star Belgrade, despite the city's name not being part of the club's official name. Serbia's most popular club was established in 1945, as all pre-war clubs had been dissolved. SK Yugoslavia is a predecessor, which is where the shield on the crest and the club's red and white colors came from. It's not inaccurate to call them Red Star, but the club's full name is Futbalski Klub Crvena Zvezda. Berner Sportklub Young Boys. Often simply referred to as Young Boys, the club in Switzerland's capital city was founded in 1898. The name came about when 4 students watched a match between FC Bayern and Old Boys of Basel. They were so impressed that they took the black and yellow colors of Old Boys and a similar name as well. Referred to as Young Boys or just YB, the club's full name is Berner Sportklub Young Boys. The Celtic Football Club. Simple, straightforward, Scottish. Celtic, not Celtic. Started by brother Walfred with the purpose of alleviating child poverty, the founder suggested the name Celtic would reflect the club's Irish and Scottish roots. European champions in 1967, the club's full name is the Celtic Football Club. Sportowy Klub Slovan Bratislava Futbol Akciowa Społeczność. I love how Slovan Bratislava translates to Bratislava Slavs. Originally founded as one CSS SSK Bratislava, meaning the first Czechoslovak sports club Bratislava, there were a few name changes before the current iteration of the club's name came about. You can call them Slovan Bratislava or Slovan Bratislava, but the full name is Sportový klub Slovan Bratislava Football Akciová spoločnosť. Association Sportive de Monaco Football Club. AS Monaco, or Monaco for short, the Principality Club's royal connections are referenced in the badge. Champions League runners-up in 2004, you'll have no problem saying the full name if you speak decent French. Unfortunately, I don't, but here goes. Association Sportive de Monaco Football Club. Athletic Club Sparta Prague Football Akciová spoločnosť. Prague is the Czech way to say Prague. Sparta Prague, or Sparta Prague for short, is the most successful Czech club, and they reached the semifinals of the Champions League in 1992. If you want to say the full name of this club, you might need to practice. Athletic Club Sparta Prague Football Akciová spoločnosť. Aston Villa Football Club. Aston Villa, or Villa for short. Strangely, I have heard some uninformed folks simply say Aston. Aston is a neighborhood in Birmingham, at the junction of three roads, Heathfield Road, Villa Road, and Lozells Road, now known as the Villa Cross, was a Georgian mansion called Aston Villa. This map from 1818 displays the house at that intersection that would later become a school and eventually an inn. The Villa Cross Wesleyan Chapel was named for the junction, and that's the building where the club's origins are traced to. Aston Villa was founded in 1874, when 4 members of the Aston Villa Cricket Club wanted to stay fit in the winter and started a football club. This is an easy one for native English speakers to say. European champions in 1982, Villa are back in the Champions League for the first time in 41 years. The greatest club in the world, 4 words, Aston Villa Football Club. Bologna Football Club 1909, Società Operazioni. Bologna, not Bologna, founded in 1909 by students, including Antonio Bernabeu, Santiago's brother. Another founder, Arrigo Gradi, brought the club's red and blue colors from the Swiss school that he attended. There's not a lot of etymology here, just a club named after its city. The Italian club has reached the league phase of the Champions League for the first time. In the 60s, they played in one of the qualifying rounds and lost to Anderlecht on a coin toss. Now they're back, so let's use their full name. Bologna Football Club 1909, Società Operazioni. Girona Football Club Sociedad Anónima Deportiva. Founded after other clubs in the city had floundered, Girona has actually been around since 1930. I've definitely said this one incorrectly in the past, but that's open to interpretation. The Catalan spelling for the city is Girona with an I, while the Spanish spell it Girona with an E and pronounce it differently. In Catalan, it's more like Girona. In Spanish, it's more like Girona. Either way you say it, it's Girona's first year in the Champions League, and their full name is Girona Football Club Sociedad Anónima Deportiva. Verein für Bewegungsspiele Stuttgart 1893, eingetragener Verein. Had to save one of the best ones for the end. Just saying 1893 in German is quite a lot. 1893. Verein für Bewegungsspiele means club for movement games. VfB Stuttgart was founded by the formation of 2 local clubs that played both rugby and association football. Stuttgarter Fußballverein and Kronenklub Cannstatt. Stuttgarter Fußballverein and Kronenklub Cannstatt merged in 1912 to become VfB. You can simply say Stuttgart and people will know who you're talking about, but in Germany, you can just say VfB. The 3 letters from their prefix are on the badge. Once again, the full name is Verein für Bewegungsspiele Stuttgart 1893, eingetragener Verein. Sportclub Sturm Graz. Graz is the name of the city in Austria home to the club. Apparently the name Sturm comes from a storm that was the dominant weather in Graz on the day of the club's founding on the 1st of May, 1909. But it may have been chosen to pay homage to Czech club DBC Sturm Prague, who was visiting Graz 2 weeks previously. Sturm Graz are in the league phase of the Champions League for the 4th time. They reached the group stage on 3 previous occasions. Often club Sturm Graz or Graz, the club's full name is Sportclub Sturm Graz. Stade Brestois Vingt Neuf. Stade is the French word for stadium, and the club comes from the city of Brest. Brestois is the declension of Brest, meaning that the club is located there. 29 in French is Vingt Neuf, and the number actually comes from the French département. There are 98 départements or administrative regions in metropolitan France. You could call this club Brest, but to avoid saying what could sound like a funny word out of context, you'll often hear the name Stade Brest used, even though technically it isn't grammatically correct. Either way, the full name of this club is Stade Brestois Dortmund. And that is how to pronounce the full name of every club in the 2024-25 UEFA Champions League. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about the names and how these clubs got their names. Let me know down below if you want to see more videos like this diving into football history. If you watched this video all the way through, you're an absolute legend. Thank you. And if you want to take your support to the next level, subscribe on Patreon. Thank you, Footy Fam. A special thanks to the VIPs and Ultras who are paid subscribers on the Footy Fam Patreon. This video wouldn't be possible without your support. If you want to see your name in the credits and get other awesome perks like BTS content and more, make sure to subscribe via the link in the description.